Here are 3 players to watch in the NCAA tournament that if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Everyone just loves New Mexico to upset number 6, have the potential to go at least one more round. Deron Holmes, Shahade Wells, and Enrique Freeman, 3 players you have to know about. Do you wonder, like I do, who's going to be the Shahade Wells, Enrique Freeman of this year? I do. I stay up late thinking about it. Mike Randle here with you, FTN, College Basketball Betting Show. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, do all that great stuff. Get in the comments. This is a family. I do not say that lightly. We come together Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays. We talk about college basketball. We have highs, we have lows. We go up, we go down, we battle, and we make progress and peak towards the end of the year. We are on the road for 100 units. We are right around 45, 46 units right now up on the season. Plan to get to 100. Want to peak at March Madness. 2 years ago, nailed Florida Atlantic. Got all the Elite Eight right. Last year, had some great picks. Clemson all the way to the Elite Eight. Good stuff. That's why you're here. We're going to roll. We're going to go through the games. Good amount of games today. College basketball now taking over front and center. And you want to join us here at the FTN Fantasy Family. Frank Brank, all of our great guys doing fantastic stuff behind the scenes. Walt Waddell now transitioning to college basketball. We have all of our team ready to rock and roll. You want to join us, get in the Discord because some of these lines have moved because I put them in last night because I don't sleep. You know the deal. Comments, who is here. I got to recognize all the great people because that's what makes this show great. Daryl, good morning. Yep. How's this glorious morning? Daryl, it's glorious if you were here. My friend Hugh in the house. Hugh, I love it. And I love the picture, too, of Mr. Corleone. Always fantastic. Jason, greater than Jordan. No, but Jordan greater than LeBron, Jason. Let's not get into that. We'll get into that some other time. I appreciate this, Tommy. There is no tipping. The tip is joining FTN. That's the deal. I love college basketball. I am a junkie. That's what I do. I watched it. I watched it even when I was a math teacher, superintendent at a high school. Doing all that great stuff. This was my outlet. Come home after a long day, watch some college hoops, and it's transitioned now into my profession, which I love, so I appreciate it. I got thoughts. Hugh, we always attack the first game. Even if we get it wrong, we attack the first game. I have it. Costco, you are now a regular, my friend. Great seeing you here. Bet in the house. Let's get ready to rock and roll. Here we go. Okay. I am going to start off with a small wager on Morgan State. Now, Morgan State has lost 3 games in a row, but who are those games to? They lost to Iowa State away, no shame there. Minnesota away, that's brutal. And South Carolina State. But the problem is Amari Simpkins, who is one of their leading scorers, was out injured. And Winston Tabbs was also out injured for some of those games. Now, Winston Tabbs came back in the last game, only scored 3 points. I've been Googling, trying to find out what the sickness was, but that was his first game back. He has now had 3 more days to rest since then. And I don't know if Simpkins is going to be back or not. If he is, it's a bonus. This game is home. North Carolina Central is not fantastic in any way. They've been up, down. They lost away at Coppin State, if that does anything for you. They lost away at North Carolina A&T. So those are 2 teams in Ken Palm that are outside 300. They are one of the worst teams at defense, allowing 61% inside the arc. Now they're going on the road. This does not sound like a team that profiles as a road choice. So I'm going to sprinkle on Morgan State plus 3.5. Not a lot, maybe half unit, but I think them at home is worth a shot. This one breaks my heart. By the way, we're going to have props at the end, so hang around to the end because I found some props I actually like, trying to incorporate them. And yes, we will have a People's Parlay as well because the parlay started 7 for 7 on Saturday. We didn't go 10 for 10, but 7 for 7, and a lot of the subs and the people who watch the show took 3 of those, 4 of those, 5 of those. Somebody took 6 of those and hit a massive parlay, so we'll have that as well. This one breaks my heart. Here's the problem. I love St. John's. Do I still think they're going to win the Big East? I kind of hope they do, but I'm cooling on that a little bit. Guys, they can't score. They can score in transition, but they can't score in the half court, and they don't make jump shots. That's the problem. If there's a day that St. John's is scalding hot from 3-point range, they're going to win. So when we get to the NCAA tournament, they are the live betting team. They're playing Auburn, and they're banging threes to start the game. The upset is on. I believe that strongly in Patino. However, they lost away at Creighton, which was brutal. No Pop Isaacs. That should not have happened. And they really struggled in that game to defend the 3. Creighton didn't even shoot well. They were 9 of 26. The problem is St. John's was only 2 of 9. So I don't trust St. John's shooting on the road. And now you're going against a Xavier team that just got Zach Freemantle back. So if you look at Xavier, they have lost 4 of their last 5. But they went away in Connecticut, which was really hard when McNeely was healthy, and lost in overtime. They lost at home to Marquette by 2. They're playing really well, and Fremantle just came back. Yes, they lost to Georgetown. That's why you're getting this line. I think Xavier wins the game outright. I think they shoot well from 3. They're shooting 39.8% from three-point range. I'm taking Xavier plus 1.5 against the Johnnies. It breaks my heart, head over heart. Half unit, Kent State in this one. Kent State, one of the favorites here in the MAC preseason. Rob Senderoff, fantastic coach. We know this. Not shooting well from 3, not shooting well inside the arc, but they're making their free throws. They don't turn the ball over, and they force a lot of turnovers. They're also coming over a loss to Ball State, so they're 0-1 in the MAC. If Kent State wants to make a run in the MAC, and they usually are near the top, they can't start 0-2. It's Northern Illinois with Rashad Burno. Northern Illinois, who in the conference is absolutely dead last in two-point interior defense and absolutely dead last in offensive rebounding. So Kent State, physical team, good defensive team. Northern Illinois lost away at Eastern Michigan. They also lost away at Illinois State by 21. They got blitzed at Northern Iowa and gave up 101. Their defense is not great. Do I like laying 12.5 in a MAC conference game? No, I don't. But I do think Kent State wins the game, and I think they win this game by double digits, so I'll flip the coin and make sure, see if they win by 13. Small wager there. I've been impressed with Akron. I watched Akron against Bowling Green. They were dead to rights in that game. They fought all the way back. I watched Akron against Princeton. That game was very close away. They lost by 1. John Gross is a good coach. They're 1-0 now. They're in the MAC conference. They had some good out-of-conference games. They played St. Mary's away. That's always tough. They played Yale in a neutral. Yale was really good. Now they're playing Central Michigan. I do think Akron wins this game at home. I think it's a bounce-back spot. Central Michigan lost away at Ohio, or lost home at Ohio, by 2. Now they're going away. Their road games this year, Central Michigan under Tony Barbie. Valparaiso lost 93-77. Okay, Akron is much better than Valparaiso. Away at Arizona, blitzed by 53. Away at Minnesota, lost by 3. Away at George Mason, they won. Away at Marquette, they lost. Away at South Alabama, they won. They are going the wrong way. They're shooting poorly from three-point range, and they turn the ball over a ton. Akron, bounce-back spot here. 1-0, lost 3 of their last 4 coming into that game. I think they right the ship. They have a home game against Central Michigan. I think they win this game by double digits. Arizona is getting me a little bit. I'm a little vexed with Arizona. I'm not saying I have the greatest read on them. They won away at Cincinnati. Good win. That was their second true road game of the year. They played at Wisconsin, lost 103-88, got destroyed. Then they played Cincinnati away. Cincinnati struggled to score. They won that game by 5. I don't think they're winning this game. I think West Virginia is winning this game. West Virginia does not have Darren DeVries. Does not have the son, Tucker DeVries. He is out. But who has stepped up big time for them is Javon Small. Javon Small's prop is 18.5. I'm really tempted to take the over in Javon Small. He's been that good. This is a West Virginia team. Darren DeVries, 7-game winning streak at home, going to pack the house. They won away at Kansas, and then they absolutely destroyed Oklahoma State, who's okay. I wouldn't say he's terrible. I think they're just okay. I believe in West Virginia. You can say this is the part where they sort of regress a little bit. I'll roll the dice. I don't like Arizona. Whenever you bank on Caleb Love, it's feast or famine. He's been feast lately. Let's get some famine tonight on the road at West Virginia. Mountaineers plus 2.5. Darren DeVries, excellent coach. Half unit here. Western Michigan minus 3.5 against Bowling Green. I saw the Bowling Green game. Like I said, they're very helter-skelter. They can really struggle. They're a little bit with the turnovers. Western Michigan only 3-10 here, but they are home against Bowling Green. They have lost 6 straight games. So I expect everyone here in this matchup to be on Bowling Green. But I'm going to lay 3.5 points with a team that has lost 7 straight at home, because the teams that Western Michigan have played, Toledo home, really tough. Michigan State away, hard. Valpo's okay, not great. North Dakota State away, never easy to play. Oh, North Dakota, South Dakota away. I'll take the points. They're a great rebounding team, Western Michigan. They're great on the defensive boards. They're great on the offensive boards. And Bowling Green, I was not impressed with. I think they take a lot of rush shots. I think they turn the ball over a lot. They do make their free throws, which is good. I expect everyone to be on Bowling Green. Half unit play here. Western Michigan minus 3.5 against Bowling Green. I like Toledo. I just don't like Toledo laying this amount of points. This is a lot of points here. Toledo played away at Western Michigan, won by 6. Now they're playing Eastern Michigan under Stan Heath. They've been kind of battling here. They've gone on the road a couple times. They've battled. They don't turn the ball over a ton. They are good inside the arc. And against Northern Illinois, they won that game by 4 at home. Northern Illinois shot 91% from the free throw line. So I think this game is fairly close. Toledo is really good. They're solid, but they're probably a step down from where they normally are. Normally, they're one of the top teams in the MAC. I don't see that this year. They were lucky to beat Western Michigan away. Here comes Eastern Michigan. A lot of points here. They don't force a lot of turnovers. Toledo, they're playing in the lane. They're not great at shooting threes, only 31%. They're also not great on the boards. Feels like a lot of points. Small unit play here as well. This one is a full unit play. I've taken Florida against Tennessee. Something we've learned so far in college basketball is sometimes teams get to a point where the loss is due. Okay, they've been undefeated. They're due for a clunker. Classic point was seeing Oklahoma, who has survived a couple games, going to Alabama, who I don't like a ton, and get absolutely blitzed. I think it's Tennessee's turn. Now, look, Tennessee can win the national championship. This could be the year for Rick Barnes. And all of you guys hate Rick Barnes. Sustained success is all you can ask for. You may think Bill Self's a great coach, and he is. But I remember when Bill Self couldn't win the big one. They beat Memphis years ago for their first title with Derrick Rose and all those guys. He wiped his brow after they won. That's his side of because he knew the pressure was mounting. And then they won the game with the huge comeback against North Carolina because Caleb Love is Caleb Love. I think this is their loss. Florida was in a look-ahead spot. And Florida, as much as I was worried about all the off-the-court stuff with Todd Golden, that has gone away. They lost by 6 at Kentucky. Look at it this way. They put up 100 at Kentucky, and they lost by 6 when Kentucky shot 14 of 29 from three-point range. I don't think Tennessee's going to do that on the road. I think Florida's super hot. They didn't get a great game out of Will Richard. Alex Condon wasn't great either. I think Florida rolls here. I think they get the win. I think it's time for Tennessee to get a loss, and it's nothing against Tennessee. Love Rick Barnes, and I know it's still flu season, so Barnes is like the flu. He comes on strong in the winter, then he fades. I think that's baloney. He's one of the best coaches in college basketball. Give him some decent offensive players like TJ Ford of Texas. He gets to a Final Four. One of my favorite plays today, Florida -1.5. I know it's up to 2 or 3.5, but that's why I got to be in the FTN Discord because I put it in last night about 11 o'clock. I don't know why this line's so high. Look, Duke stuck it to me by winning at SMU really comfortably, and Duke is playing very well. But, folks, Jeff Capel's team is legit. They are great at defending the three. Duke generates they're taking 48% of their points from beyond the arc. They're shooting 36%. Pittsburgh is great there. They're great inside the arc. They don't turn the ball over. And Capel, of course, has history here. He has battled Duke very well. He won away last year, 80-76 here. He battled the year before away, 77-69. Capel is in a good spot here. The love for Duke has gone too far. I get it that they're looking good, and Cooper Flagg and Con Knuppel and all those guys, but Ishmael Leggett, the point guard, is back for Pittsburgh. They are fully loaded. This is a Pittsburgh team that lost to Wisconsin on a neutral by 6 and got blitzed away by a good physical Mississippi State team. I think they play well tonight at Duke. I think they show up. They are 3-0 in the ACC. They want to win this game because they want to take control and knock Duke back a little bit. You're going to give me 14.5 points. I think Pittsburgh is good. I don't know what this line is. It started 12.5. It's up. I'm taking them there. Louisville is starting to show out, and there's a couple players that have come back recently, very much under the radar, like Marcus Burton for Notre Dame, who really make a difference. Louisville, of course, did lose Kason Pryor, the big man, unfortunately for the year. But you know who they did get back in this game, in the last game, rather? They got Abubakar Traore, who is a tremendous on-ball defender, and that's why they blitzed Virginia and just destroyed them there. They were physical. They won the rebound. They had 15 assists. They share the ball, and Traore was fantastic. He had a block. He had a steal, had 15 points just to give them another option. Rain Smith is one of the best three-point shooters in the country. He's almost like 50% from three-point range. I like Clemson. They got a lot of players back, but I'm rolling with Louisville. They are hot. Pal Kelsey is doing a phenomenal job there. They've won 4 in a row. They did lose to Duke at home, but since then they beat Florida State away by 14. They hung 90. They beat North Carolina at home. They hung 83. They went to Virginia and scored 70, which is like scoring 130 against anyone else. I'm taking Louisville laying the 3.5 points. I know everybody's on Georgia here, but you know my thoughts on Mike White. I am not taking Mike White here. I'll take Kentucky and lay the 1.5 on the road. Georgia has the physicality inside. I understand that, but I think Kentucky is good enough to win on the road. Mark Pope has done a superior job. They are great at defending the three, and they're great on the defensive boards. Georgia's going to try to beat you up inside with the bigs. They have Asa Newell, who's sort of an inside-outside player. They have Cyril inside, who is great in the Netflix series, the Overtime Elite series. He's solid inside. But I think Kentucky is just better all around. And we've seen Kentucky go on the road in a semi-away game and win at Gonzaga in overtime. We've seen them play really tough. This is going to be they played away at Clemson and lost by 4, but that was a close game. Clemson played well. I am not on Georgia in this spot. I'm not a believer in Mike White in a big game. It's very much like Kevin Willard with Maryland, who, by the way, I'm sorry if you got the 4.5 in that line against Oregon. I got it at 3.5, so I covered. They had the 3 at the buzzer. My brother-in-law wanted to disown me after that. I am taking Kentucky minus 1.5 on the road. I don't believe in Georgia. I don't. Georgia's fine. They're king of little people. You want to beat up on South Carolina State, that's fine. You want to beat Notre Dame at home, good job. I'm not buying it. They did beat St. John's on a neutral, but they're out of conference schedule. Tennessee Tech, Texas Southern, North Florida, Georgia Tech, Alabama A&M, Jacksonville, Notre Dame, Grand Canyon. But when Tyron Grant Forster just came back, I'm not buying Georgia. I'm laying the points. It's a lot of points for Ron Hunter here at UAB. Now, UAB started as the favorite in the American when the season started, and they've struggled. They're getting better, though. They're getting back to normal. They did lose away at North Texas by 3, but then they pounded Tulsa at home. So UAB is getting hot and starting to look like the team we thought they were going to be as the AAC favorites. But on the flip side, Tulane has won 3 straight games. Tulane is really well coached by Ron Hunter. They're great at defending inside the arc. They have a good defensive team. Teams have shot 76% from the free throw line against them, so a little unlucky for Tulane, and they do make their free throws. This feels like one too many points here. Tulane last year struggled against UAB in both of those matchups, but they were bad last year. They were not good. They were only 5-13 in the conference. This year's a different story. They started 2-0. They went away at Charlotte by 15. You beat Charlotte. You beat them by 15 at their place. That's impressive. And UTSA, they busted. So this looks very much like South Florida last night. South Florida went to Wichita State. It's the one game I got wrong last night. We had a good night last night because hot team stayed hot. Sometimes hot team cools off. Sometimes hot team stays hot. I'll take Tulane plus 8.5 against UAB. I think it's too many points. Last night, we lost Houston first half, but we won Houston game against TCU. Iowa State is the same way. You can't simulate the defensive pressure that Iowa State is going to give you. You can't in the half court. And so it's just a learning experience. Here comes Utah now on the road going to Hilton Magic. And Utah is their first year in the Big 12. So it's not like they have history playing at Iowa State. They're going to struggle in this matchup. They lost to Iowa on a neutral and gave up 95 points. They lost to Baylor away by 25. They lost to Texas Tech at home by 28. Now, all of a sudden, Craig Smith, who's a good coach, is going to rally the team. So Utah, after looking horrific in their last 3 games and playing 0 defense, is now going to go to Iowa State, and they're going to step up. This is the spot they're going to step up. I don't see it. They're only shooting 63% from the free throw line, so you want a team to cover on the road that can make free throws. They don't. I know this number is high. It's ticking down. Iowa State is 12-1 overall. Their only loss was to Auburn by 2 on a neutral. They're one of the best teams in the country. They do have Texas Tech away, but I don't think that's the big enough look ahead. Maybe Kansas the one after that, so you can maybe see them slip at Texas Tech as the away game before Kansas. I don't see it here. I think Utah stinks. They're just not at the level in the Big 12. Craig Smith will get it right, but he's got to adjust. I'm taking them there. I've gone down with the ship here. I see the comments. I'll get to a minute. I've gone down with the ship with Oklahoma State. They kind of burned me the last couple times. I didn't like them to start. Then I got on them. Then they got drilled by Oklahoma on the neutral. Then they lost to Houston away by 13, though. I mean, at home by 13. They hung in there. Then West Virginia away, they got absolutely drilled. But I want to point out in that game, they were down 46-19 and fought their way back. They just had a really bad shooting game. They were 3 of 21 from three-point range at West Virginia. Now, they're normally better than that, but that was brutal. That was a real outlier. Now they're home against a moderate Kansas State team that has lost 4 of their last 5. They beat Cincinnati at home by 3, but they lost away at TCU. Kansas State has Houston at home coming up. No one's going to be on Oklahoma State because they just got drilled by West Virginia, but this is the time we go on Oklahoma State. Steve Lutz is a really good coach, came over from Western Kentucky, was good with Corpus Christi before that. I know Oklahoma State doesn't look great, but they are good and they fight and they're physical on the boards, and that may be good enough to beat Kansas State. I like them at home here. Kansas State also doesn't make free throws, 66%. I will take them there. Nebraska's hot. Fred Hoiberg's hot, but Iowa at home is a rough spot for them. And they've played at Iowa before, and it hasn't gone really well. Last year, Nebraska goes to Iowa and loses. They lose 94-76. The year before, they travel to Iowa. They play them at home the year before. They didn't actually play Iowa, did they? I don't think they actually played Iowa the year before. Yeah, so they've missed them a couple times. But when they played, it's usually a rough situation. So they played them. Oh, they did play them. Sorry. They played them the year before, and they were home, and they lost that game. So Iowa can score at home. They can put points up. I like Peyton Sanford. I look for a Peyton Sanford prop. I did not see one yet. If it comes out, I'll put it in the Discord. They're coming off a rough loss, Iowa away at Wisconsin, which was a bizarre game. But they lost that. Yeah, they lost that one 116-85. Rough loss for Iowa. But I think they bounce back here against Nebraska, who's 12-2, 2-1. But the only road games they've played, at Creighton, rivalry game, throw it out the window. At Hawaii, won by 14. This is going to be a tough environment. Iowa's going to want this win. Nebraska's coming off the big win, and Nebraska goes to Purdue right after this sandwich spot. Iowa -3.5. I think BYU is a little soft. BYU is very tough at home, the altitude, all that stuff. I get it. I think they're a little soft. They are very young. They're a very young team. Not a lot of experience. They have some great players like the freshman Igor Demin, who's come in. But they got their doors blown off by Houston away. They went away to Providence and played Providence. And that was a Providence game that, Providence hasn't been great this year. They got blown out there. So now they're hosting Texas Tech. And yes, they're home. And they usually play well at home. But Texas Tech is a really good team. And I think Texas Tech woke up after the loss to UCF at home, which was brutal. They went out to Utah and drilled them by 28 points. So now this is a tough back-to-back, Utah and BYU. But I do think their physicality under Grant McCasland can do some things. I'm going to take the points. Only a half-unit wager here because BYU could get hot from three-point range at home. But Grant McCasland's physicality is getting sold a little short. This team is solid. They're one of the favorites in the Big 12. They're great at shooting threes. They're great on offense. They're physical. They make their free throws. They're good on the offensive boards. And I think BYU is a little bit of a pillow here. So as much as BYU has a home court advantage, I'm going to take Texas Tech +3. That's just a half-unit play. Couple others. Let me get to the chat. I'm sorry, guys. You got all the questions in the chat. Let me get to these really quick. Let's see. Yeah, it's fine, Jerry. Let's go head-to-head, see what happens. If they get all their players back, Morgan State, that's also the issue. I don't know what the update is there. I don't like fading St. John's. I don't, Jerry, but I have to get rid of my heart and start looking at my head. When's the last time you saw them make a bunch of jump shots? RJ Lewis makes the jump shots, but that's about it. That was a bad loss to Creighton. That was very revealing to me. Xavier's ready to roll. Fremantle's back. It's a tough spot. Money line, I agree. Kirk, you're going over. Sounds good to me. Kent State, no size. I get it. I understand that. Yeah, I stayed away from this one. SMU let me down, Jerry. I don't like North Carolina. You know that, but I don't know if it's enough points for me. I kind of stayed away. Akron certainly is gritty. Darryl, it's a great point. West Virginia, boy, when they get DeVries back, they're going to be a problem. What a job Darian DeVries has done. And Javon Small is the real deal. I get it, but you know what, Jerry, you can also have Arizona have one of their terrible shooting games today. That's a tough place to play at home. Al, great to see you, buddy. Thank you. Hit the like. Damn right, Hugh. Hit the freaking like. Thank you. Yeah, we'll get to that one, Jerry. I like Michigan there. Let's see. Agree on Pitt, too many points. I agree. Iowa at home. Yeah, Nebraska come off the big win. 4.5's a lot. I know, but I'm going with it. Yeah, we'll see it. We'll see. I get it, and you let down spot, but I don't like Mike White in these spots. I faded Jerry last night. It's worth noting. I faded Rutgers last night at home. I didn't like that spot at all. I think Wisconsin's pretty good. If I knew everybody was totally healthy, Bailey played well, but Harper was he's not healthy, and they should have even played him, but that's a huge difference. Mick, it's a tough one, Darryl. We'll get to that. Baylor, Cincy, we'll get to that also. Oh, thank you. I'm going to go over with Sanford tonight, Jason. I'll grab that also. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Here we go. Okay, I got to get back because I'm going on the Seahawks pod also soon. Vanderbilt's good. Mississippi State letdown. I like Vandy. Vandy in that gym is very hard. That court is very frustrating. Mark Byington's done a really nice job. Mississippi State now on the road. Big one over LSU away. I think this is a coin flip game. I like them here. They're great inside the arc. They turn people over. It's a weird gym. Mississippi State's not great on offense. They're physical on defense. They also don't make their free throws. I like them there. I think Auburn's better than Texas. Not a Texas guy, not a Rodney Terry guy. I think Auburn is just that good. We've seen them blitz people before. We've seen UConn go down to Texas and beat them by double digits. I think they can as well. I am not fading Michigan, not in this spot. I love Mick Cronin, but what's going on here with Danny Wolf is unguardable. The 7-foot power forward that operates like a point guard is just a matchup nightmare. You're going to give me 3.5. This gets up to 4. I will take it. As much as I love Mick, they're looking to sweep here, the USC UCLA double duo. And the way you beat Mick Cronin's defense is you use the physicality inside. And that's what I think Michigan is going to do. And that's what they did against USC. You had Danny Wolf with 21 and he had 13 rebounds. You had Vlad Golden who had 11 points and 3 rebounds. He also had they had 6 blocks from Danny Wolf. Danny Wolf is that good. That's why I'm taking him here. This is way too many points for New Mexico on the road. I'm not at the point where we're laying points for New Mexico on the road. Let's take it easy. I got it at 7. I think it's down to 6 now. New Mexico's 4-0. They're flying high. This is the classic time to get, stumble here. On the road at Wyoming. They got San Diego State at home coming in as a look-ahead spot. They are terrible at defending the threes. Wyoming is really good at shooting threes at 38%. Get out of here with this one. And I know the FTN subs are going to hit the money line. That's for darn sure. Boise State worries me. They've struggled all year. I'm taking UNLV here. UNLV on the road getting 7.5 against Boise. Boise's offense has struggled. UNLV, of course, is getting hot here with Kevin Kruger. Beat UC Riverside, beat Fresno State, won away at Air Force, beat San Jose State. I know those aren't great teams, but they have a little bit of momentum. And Boise State, coming off the loss to San Diego State, it's not like they were dominating prior to that. They won San Jose State away by 2. They've been up and down. They lost at a neutral at BC. Their offense can really struggle. This is a rivalry game. UNLV's looking to stay tough here. I know Boise's in a bounce back, but they can bounce back and win by 5, and I can still cover this freaking game. Stan Johnson, get out of here. I should have bet him against Gonzaga, but I got a little nervous because sometimes they get hot from 3 at home. Well, you know what, guys? They're not home here, and they're going on the road at St. Mary's. They're not going to shoot well at St. Mary's. I know St. Mary's plays with pace, and you're worried about that, but St. Mary's can play well at home. And I can see that happening. St. Mary's, despite their slow pace and their struggles on offense, they beat Pepperdine at home by 30. They beat Cal Poly by 14. They put 87 up against Akron at home. They can win a game by double digits, and I think they're going to beat Stan here. They're good at defending the 3. St. Mary's only allowed 32%, and they're great on the offensive boards. Loyola Marymount is soft. Here's a couple props to think about, and then we will get out of here. Danny Wolf over 11.5. I know it's mixed defense, but Danny Wolf can get to the line and get those points. That's fine. Not an Arthur Kaluma guy in this matchup against Auburn's defense. I don't know if Arthur Kaluma is going to go off. He could hit a couple of threes, but that's it. I do like Chase Ross against with Marquette here. It's a little bit low. He's a little up and down. He could be a little streaky, but I'm not sold yet on Georgetown playing well. And at home, they've scored 79 points, 80 points, 88 points, 94 points, 94 points. They score at home. Chase Ross just has to stay out of foul trouble. He'll get this number over 9.5. Asa Newell is not ready for what he's getting from Kentucky. I know he's versatile. He wants to show out here, especially get drafted. Asa Newell under 14.5 points. He's not huge inside, likes to step out a little bit. I think Kentucky can get at him a little bit and keep him under that number. I believe in Pitt's defense. I think Capel's going to cook something up for Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg is wonderful. He's going to be a top pick, if not the top pick in the draft. I like him. He can have 17 points tonight against Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's very live. The under there is also an interesting play, so I'm taking Cooper Flagg under. Kadari Richmond can't make jump shots. He's going to have to get to the basket. Xavier's going to run. They're going to push. I don't like Kadari Richmond. He doesn't make a lot of threes, and he can be a little passive at times. We're going under there. To marry that to the pick, I'm taking Fremantle over 7.5 rebounds. Love Zach Fremantle. He's back. The rebounds inside. He's going to have to battle Ejiofor, but I think he can get 8 tonight. And you look at Ryan Conwell, I'm getting plus money on this. I think it's plus 120. So take a look at that. He has been really good from 3-point range, Conwell, his last couple games at home specifically. He's at home. He's 3 of 7. He's 2 of 2. He's 3 of 9. He's 4 of 5. He's 4 of 11. He's 4 of 6. We're getting plus money. I know St. John's can D up, but I will take Conwell there. You want the parlay? We'll give you the parlay. Here are the picks. Xavier at home will be part of the parlay. So we'll do Xavier. I'll add it in here for the people. We're doing Xavier plus 1.5 against St. John's. I'm fine with that. I know this number has risen, but we're going with Florida. I took this one here as well last night. That's where you got to be in the Discord. I will take them there. I believe in Pittsburgh as well. We can parlay them and put them in there as well. I'll take Pittsburgh plus the 14.5 against Duke. And let's see. And I really like Oklahoma State. That'll be the last one. We will do Oklahoma State at home, even though they've lost and haven't played well against West Virginia. I think they bounce back here and take it there. There's your 4-person parlay. Comments and we'll get out of here. I hate UNLV. Jerry, you're killing me, buddy. You're killing me. I do. I can go. I'm not crazy either way with the under, Darryl. I just like Michigan getting the points. Everybody likes Georgia today. Kirk, I'm out of here. I don't care. And love the under in the Duke game. That's well, folks. I am gone. That is it. Mike Randle here with you. Make sure to get in the Discord, FTN. Join us. Get our annual packages. You know the drill. We got the Frank Bright models. Everything is ready to roll. As always, I am here with you. You guys are the best. FTN Fantasy. We find you. The end. Here are 3 players to watch in the NCAA tournament that if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Everyone just loves.